The question today is what elements need to be included in a film business plan. Now, there are two extreme sides to what you're presenting to an investor. And two sides of the coin is another way to put it. The film business plan is the first physical leave behind. Sometimes it is the first thing that they see. The potential investor takes a look at the film business plan before you even have the meeting. So when I say there are two sides, one is the pitch deck, which is a lot of graphics, a lot of mood and things like that, pictures, themes that you're going to put in, and it's a pitch. And then the other side of that, the flip side of the coin, is the investor documents, the private placement memorandum, the operating agreement. That's a lot of legal text, okay? I always say the best way is to sit in the middle. The business plan that I created 20 years ago is called Movie Plan Pro. Some of you know it, some of you are using it, and actually a lot of people have used it over the years, and I'm always honored by that. Movie Plan Pro sits right in the middle, and what it's called is a confidential informational overview, and that's legal speak for we're just talking here. Just, it's information, I'm just giving you an overview, and it's confidential. And the reason I created that and that why it sits in the middle is that, let's talk about the two extremes. The pitch deck is flashy and beautiful, and I've seen ones that look like magazines. But then at the end of the day, you're showing that to a potential investor, and they're going, what do you want from me? I remember a friend of mine gave me one that was so beautiful, and at the end I said, Kurt, I don't know what the hell you're asking for. Like, are you asking for $10,000? Asking for $1 million? I have no idea. So it doesn't have a little bit of the business that needs to be in there. Go to the other side, when you have the gigantic private placement memorandum, operating agreement. It's like that's the equivalent, I would say, especially on a first meeting with an investor, is going on a first date and saying, well, it's fantastic to meet you. I have this brochure here. This is a place where we could get married. It's beautiful. We can get a fantastic deal. And I just want to put this brochure over here. Now, tell me about yourself. You're probably not getting a second date. So what I say is sit right in the middle. Have pictures and elements and all that, but also have the things that they need to see, and which I'm going to go through right now. So the first thing that you need is a cover. You need a beautiful cover. And I'm talking about getting one professionally designed by a graphic designer. Find them on Fiverr, Fiverr.com or 99designs.com, and get something that looks professional. That is a perfect example of judging a book by its cover. I've seen people that hand me a business plan, and as soon as I look at the cover, I go, oh, God, they couldn't even make a nice cover, and they're expecting me to believe they can make a beautiful film. So make sure that looks great. Inside, you could put some legal speak if you need to, a disclaimer and something like that, and that's all included with Movie Plan Pro. But the first thing you want to get to is the executive summary, and that's going to have the bullet points. First, state exactly what you're looking for. You're looking to raise $1 million. Bam. Now put the value points in there. So-and-so director's last film has done this, and you're shooting in New Mexico for a 25% tax credit, and whatever value you can put there. Or, you're shooting the horror genre, and it's a highly profitable genre. Anything that you can put of value. The next, you need to get to a synopsis. And this is not a 2-3 page thing. It's more like a 2-3 paragraph thing where it encapsulates your movie, because a lot of times when you're pitching an investor, they're going to be flipping through the business plan right in front of you. And that's where you definitely can't have the big gigantic 90-page legal document. You want to be right there, and they want to be able to read it real quick. They're not going to go through 2-3 pages of a synopsis. They want to go, okay, I get it. I get the story. Okay. Then you need to put your resumes and bios in there. And this is a section that is maligned many times because it's an ego section. Everybody wants to put their bio in. And I always say only put the bios that matter to the business plan, like producers and director. And now when I say producers, that doesn't mean every producer. If one person has been a super successful office supply salesperson, it's like that doesn't apply. You don't want to put that person's bio in there, but that's where the egos come out. Well, your bio's in there, I want my bio in there. It's like it only matters for raising the money. You think about that, right? At the end of the day, that person's still going to get their executive producer credit. They're going to have the credits on IMDb and in the movie. Why do they care about the business plan that's being shown to the investor? Think about that. Take the ego out of there and say, the only thing we're trying to do is raise money. Okay, and if there are some star cast, put that in there as well. But I've seen people go down to casting director and costume designer, and it's like no one wants to read all those bios. Another thing I put in the business plan is a timeline. If you were going to invest today, when are we going to be done with shooting, and when do you have a potential to get your money back? The other section that is extremely important is the hypothetical investment return, which that could be 20 videos right there and talking about it, but basically it is a waterfall example. And it's in Movie Plan Pro, but basically the key is showing if there's money coming in, how is the investor supposed to be paid from that money? And that's extremely important. And it's not a projection, because projections could get you in trouble because you're comparing to movies that are completely, have a different scenario, different situation. I would say the hypothetical investment return is extremely important because it's showing if there's money coming in, how is the investor getting that money? And most investors that I've ever met know that it's a risk in film, and they know that that's an investment that could also bring a lottery ticket. The key is they just want to see if there's money coming in, how are they getting paid? Okay, and then finally, if you have a supporting article that's perfect for the movie that says, horror movies are bulletproof at the box office, or, documentaries about dolphins always score, or something like that, put that in there. And add that at the end, and then finally you just want your contact information. Make sure they know how to get in touch with you. If you want more detail, definitely check out movieplanpro.com, and you get a plug-and-play business plan. But no matter what, make sure you don't go too legal thick document on the first meeting, and make sure you don't go too flashy magazine on the first meeting. They want a little bit of business, and they want a little bit of graphics. Sit right in the middle, and hopefully you'll get that investment. Hey everybody, quick pitch on the Movie Producer Mastermind at Filmmaking Stuff HQ. If you want to learn how to finance your film, make your film, and then sell it and distribute it, this is where you need to be. It's the ultimate resource for putting your movie together. If you want to make your dream come true, you're going to want to check it out. Also, hit like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We put up new free content every week.